You may reconsider everything which you know about keto, every fact which you know about keto after watching this video. Hi, welcome everybody to another video of Indian keto diet, everything which you need to know. In this video, we'll be discussing about how is Indian keto different than Western keto. Also, if in case you want to check out other videos which is about what is keto, what do you eat on keto, you can check out other videos also of the playlist. In the coming videos also, we'll be discussing about some controversial topics, or we'll be discussing about how you can calculate your ratios, how you can continue keto, how do you get out of keto. But this is one of my favorite topics because this is a speculation out of all the facts which I know about keto. So let me give you a brief about how do I know about keto. So in 2017, a doctor recommended keto diet to me because I had severe acne issues. My hormonal structure was completely out of how it should be in normal range for a 22-year-old, and I started my keto journey. I took it like a fad initially, but then I started learning about my ketogenic diet, or I started understanding how I can adapt to keto. In my 5+ years of experience and working with 550+ clients in the last 4 years, which is going to be increasing every single day, this is a disclaimer to everybody watching this. Firstly, I'm not targeting any group, any coach, any legal entity, neither Ketorets is going to target on this video, but I am just thinking out loud. None of these are claims, but these are just ways of understanding exactly how our body works and what I've learned in the last 5 years. You can also skip the video if in case you are very sensitive to specific comments, specific sections of this. You can also watch it till the end if in case you want to know a different perspective of what could be an Indian keto diet. So I'm going to divide this into 4 simple facts. Number 1 is discovery. Number 2 is research. Number 3 is local availability, which is also called as hyperlocal. And number 4, which I'm going to divide this in, is adaptation. Now, when I talk about these 4 aspects, we can divide it into 4 different sections and we can understand. How does it make a difference that an Indian keto diet is different than Western keto diet? You have to understand what is discovered in what country defines how much research, how much adaptation happens of that particular discovery. So when they realized in 1920s that this is something which can help for epilepsy, because of globalization not being at its peak as it is right now, I can just simply record a video and communicate information to you. This information was limited to very specific parts, which are specifically in US. Later on, it also went to other parts of, say Europe, as well as it also became really popular in the Western world. Now, you may also wonder that why this discovery didn't happen at any other, say, specific lab or any other specific hospital or any other clinic. Because the basic reason behind this is that how many cases do you see in a hospital? How many cases do you see in a clinic? That is why doctors or researchers or scientists are going to study more about that to understand whether how can we solve it. But then with this, also with discovery, how does it make a difference between that this is not discovered in India, that all of us think that this was not discovered in India, now we believe in Ayurveda, and this is something which is absolutely illogical. Now this is first bias which happens with everybody. Like, think about it. So people in Maharashtra who stay in Bombay, you would love having misal pav, right? For a North Indian, misal pav would be a new taste, a different taste, may or may not like it, right? For me, I'm a Punjabi, Rajma Chawal is an emotion because I was grown up with that idea that, yeah, Rajma Chawal is home food. But similarly, for somebody else, it is going to be not the first time they are eating food, right? Like the last time when you see somebody coming from, some person coming from a different part of the world coming to India and trying our Indian masalas, they're not very comfortable in trying it, right? Because we always have this comfort bias that which place was this is discovered. So yes, first thing is about discovery. Second thing is about research. Now, where you discover anything, you have research along with that, right? People want to know more about it. There is more curiosity about it. And we always look at articles or research papers, nothing from India. Why is that? Because first of all, wide adaptation of keto is not so popular in India. Secondly, we'll also focus on adaptation in the coming last point. But you need to understand that research happens only when at a specific place, either local bodies or the government agencies try to fund that research. Now, research happened in US, it happened in UK. What was the research about? blood sugar levels, what were people eating, what kind of ratios were they eating, how much fat were they consuming, how many of them were diabetic, how many of them eventually could get some results out of it, positive results, what were negative results out of keto. And there was a lot of research which were done on a specific sample size. But I have a simple question for you, that if in case I'm researching the same, say, procedure with somebody in India, wouldn't that be different? How? Because we were born in a tropical country. We had different ways of upbringing. The way you enjoy garam masala and food, that person may not, right? So your gut itself is not adapted to the entire idea of this new, concept. Now this is where a difference comes in place, that when it comes to Western keto, because of research, because of these many papers, we always believe that, okay, yeah, it is beneficial for us. But just think for a second, that if in case this was a research in Delhi, and 50 people were asked, or let's say 50,000 people were asked to consume coconut oil. Do you see coconut trees in Delhi? You don't see coconut trees in Delhi, right? In the last 4 years of working with clients very closely, what I've seen is that somebody who's from North may not be able to digest coconut oil. Why is that so? Because the same locality does not have coconut trees and the weather is not very favorable. They may have it, they may not puke after this, they may not have poisoning after this, food poisoning after this, but literally when you think about research, all these research and studies were done on specific people staying either in US, either in UK, other parts of, the Western world. Most of these research studies are also, say, from a different, country or a different nationality, or a person from a different, say, upbringing, culture, so many things which are different, right? So why Indian keto could be different from a Western keto? Because we simply look at those research papers and think about all the good benefits of keto, but we don't apply it exactly, that whether this research considers the fact that the mindset of these people have changed or not. Whether this research also considers the fact that all the research which they have done is in what year, is on what kind of people, what kind of age group, what kind of details are there. There are all these details mentioned in the research papers, but then they're not published openly. So another part of research is that what we think is that Google search is research. It is not research. You are checking things on a free domain which is openly published to the public, or you're watching these videos because these are in open domain as well. So you don't even know whether exactly those people who were adapting to keto in that area, in that location, in that geography, they were able to adapt to keto successfully, or what were the kind of benefits which they will. So hence it is really important to understand that everything which we learn cannot be applied just directly by looking at research papers. I know evidence is everything, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to simply apply everything which I know, from these research papers or from anybody from that part of the world. Third thing, which is really important, is about hyperlocal availability. Now this is where another question comes in place, that when people became very, very aware about their health, they became really, really, aware that I need to do something about my blood sugar levels, I need to do something about my cholesterol levels or my lifestyle diseases, and they started adapting to a ketogenic diet. Now there are two questions for you. One, do you think you should buy grass-fed butter in India? Do you also not think that India is not a country which is very strong in its agriculture? Like, where have you seen in India where you don't find cows in the middle of the road? Like, majority of people die of accidents because of, cattle in the middle of the road, right? So cattle raising is a part of our life. It is a part of our culture as well. And we would not want to hunt for grass-fed butter. So that means our hyper-local availability of everything which is in the name of keto may be very, very different. Similar thing comes to an avocado. Like, avocado is, a Tinder date is better than avocado, by the way. You cut it and you don't even know exactly how, it is going to be like. And if you want to eat Hass avocado, which comes from New Zealand, it is really difficult for you to also judge it because it's darker in color. Maharashtrian avocados are not so popular also. People want to eat it, but then again, they are different in taste. Now, I have not had avocado for more than 5 times in my 5 years of the journey where I have, let's say, actively gone to the supermarket, bought an avocado. Until somebody gives me on a plate, or let's say my sister gets it, she wants me to, try that she has made something with avocado, I would do that. But don't you think that hyper-local availability also matters? Say, for example, in COVID, when my clients from Sri Ganganagar, which is in Rajasthan, or Bhilwara in Rajasthan, or another smaller city, say, where we have people from Durgapur, West Bengal, or you have clients staying in Kolhapur is still not a small city, but you don't see everything being available in the name of keto over there. How would you adapt to keto? Would you want to do a treasure hunt process that I'm going to get all the expensive things? I'm a vegetarian, I'm going to eat bacon because they say bacon is keto, or they say that beef or organ meats are really important. Now this is where another debate comes into place. But firstly, we need to understand what culture do we have. How can we adapt to a ketogenic diet without making our family worry about, our religious terms? We definitely value religion over everything else. That is true. That is how we are. That is how we are, that is what my upbringing is also about, right? So if in case tomorrow I get beef at home and I'm a Brahmin, I'll have problems with my family. Like my close relations would question my diet. But I've read about it because on Western Keto, or I've read about it from all the coaches and everybody, and that's why I'm going to adapt to this. Also, then which brings to another point about hyperlocal, is that what is the point of a diet? Like diet is something you are eating, say pizzas all day, so that you're on a pizza diet, right? A sustainable diet, which we define, is something which should be easily available. First of all, you should be able to make it. Third thing, that you should be able to adapt to it and understand the logic about what you're doing. Fourth, you should not cause any kind of medical issues to your body. Fifth, you should know how to leave keto successfully, just to like maintain your weight. These are basic terms of sustainable diet, right? So sustainability is a bigger question when we simply start applying things whatever we learn. And what we do is we start learning, new things altogether, and then we realize, oh, we have an Indian recipe for this. Oh, this is how we can do it. Like similarly, where there are a lot of people who say that, okay, carnivore keto is great. Yeah, it is. I absolutely agree to this. You may not need a lot of supplements just because you're consuming organ meat or you're consuming meats. You will not have to rely on supplements. But wait, if I'm a vegetarian and I'm sitting in India and I'm looking at, say a diet which is with so many non-vegetarian things, I would not be comfortable. Like I just don't have problem in terms of eating chicken or fish, but beef, pork, it would go against my religious terms. So do you think that it makes sense that Indian keto is equivalent to Western keto? Why would you not grasp this as information, process it, and think about what is viable for you and then apply it? Another last point, which is about, adaptation. Now, why do we get scared about adaptation every time with keto? Because it's most not discovered here, right? You don't see a lot of recipes which are keto recipes. You will find only very few YouTubers or very few people in India talking about a ketogenic diet. And I literally was trying to search before I wanted to be active on YouTube. I'm really active on Instagram and my website is very, very updated. But I wanted to know who is an Indian coach who's talking about Indian keto diet. Yaar, kaun samajh sakta hai masale ka maza kya hai? Who can understand that, on a sunny afternoon you want to have some chas? And how do you accommodate it in your diet? Who can understand that chai is not just an emotion? Chai is chai pe charcha. Chai is your catalyst for every conversation in life. That is where the adaptation question comes in place, that research was not done here, it was not discovered here, it is not locally available at times, and we get scared about adaptation into this entire process, and we simply apply everything which is in the name of keto as Western keto. Let me tell you a fact about this. If you start consuming magnesium on keto, which everybody says, okay, that you'll be deficient of potassium, magnesium, sodium, a lot of minerals, which you can also get from Himalayan pink salt, by the way, which you can also get from salt, Himalayan pink salt, other supplements as well. But if you start consuming magnesium in keto, if you're an Indian and you stay in India, there is a possibility that you may lose hair. Why is that? Because magnesium is present in plants and it comes from soil. Now we have too much of soil to actually grow a lot of foods, products, everything, right? We don't use processed food. And this is something which my experience comes from working with clients, those who are in Indian and as well as they stay in US or they stay in Western countries. Please understand, I'm not targeting any country or any coach here, but they would see cauli rice packets. Like I have not seen that in Bombay. It's been so long. It's been almost 5.5 years of being on keto, and it's been 6 years of knowing a ketogenic diet. I've not seen that in Bombay. And this adaptation also simply questions the idea that if in case magnesium can cause hair fall to us because our soil has enough magnesium which plants can absorb, and we are by default consuming enough magnesium. So then why everybody in India wants to start a keto diet with a magnesium supplement? Just because you saw a video or you saw an article which talks about consuming magnesium. So adaptation also is very, very subjective according to where your diet starts and where it ends, how you adapt to keto from your starting diet. If your starting diet is already with a lot of junk food, you have diabetes issues, you have medical issues, you're consuming too much of food, your relationship with food is pretty much, let's say, all over the place, then it could be a point that your blood reports can recommend what kind of supplements you want to consume. But what we do is we simply want to start with keto. Okay, these are the basic supplements which you should consume. Like I recommend a basic multivitamin, which is not a synthetic vitamin. I recommend consuming a fish oil or flaxseed oil tablet, consume from a local company, see if in case they actually have an expertise into it. We find 7Cs, which is almost pretty much popular at every medical store, right? And the third thing which is really important is, say, could be a liver supplement if in case you have liver issues. Like that's also not compulsory. But you don't need extra supplements more than this just to support your diet. So adaptation is also questionable depending upon where you start from, what kind of procedures are you following, what kind of things are you following when it comes to, when it is about adapting to keto, and how you're making a difference between your Indian keto diet and Western keto diet. So it's not wrong for you to completely apply whatever you learn, but it's a question. And it's just about making you curious that don't you think that if in case we get grass-fed butter as normal brands, if in case we don't need magnesium majority of the times, because I've literally tested it for 550 plus people, I can call it a sample size because I've seen studies of 50 people also, right? And also when I see, everybody just applying exactly what it is said, I have a question for you that don't you think that as Indians, because we have a tropical climate, because we have a different way of upbringing, because our cultures are very, very different, because our meals are, our options of eating food are very, very different. So don't we want to reconsider the idea of adapting to an Indian keto diet by processing the information? Don't you think that there could be another way out of the same process where you can be in ketosis, where you follow basic principles of keto, but there could be another way where you may not like cheese, or you may not find cheese in your locality, or you may not want to eat an avocado, but there could be another way also to get enough nutrients from that? So if in case this makes you curious, comment below in the comment section about your curiosity, about your questions. But if you have watched this video for so long, thank you so much. I highly appreciate your patience. And again, a disclaimer that I'm not targeting anybody here. I appreciate the work in this industry by a lot of people around who have been posting very informative content, and they have been also updating us with research, other things which are happening in keto world. So this is Rahul Kamra signing off with a lot of curiosity and just leaving you curious. If you think this makes sense, comment below. See you.